Ohio, I hope you're ready for it. It's going to be Luminosity and Virtus.pro in a best-of-3 game here. The last quarterfinals of the MLG Major, and we are ready to get it on. We've had the map picks, we have the teams on the server, and I'm here with Semler, and we're going to bring you through this best-of-3 game. There was some different predictions, but all of them favoring Luminosity from the analyst panel. Semler, what's your take on this?
I think that's fair. I think that's fair because Luminosity, they've been performing consistently recently. VP, you never know which one you're going to get. And that was the general theme across the analyst desk as well. It's just that if VP show up, we're going to have one hell of a match. If they don't, whoa. All right. Hello, Nationwide. But if VP show up, we're going to have one hell of a match on our hands. So this is truly going to be a magnificent quarterfinal, and we're already live into the pistol round. No time wasted here. Luminosity Gaming starting on the CT side, Virtus.pro on the T side, and Virtus.pro not wasting any time at all, but neither are Luminosity. Look at this. They're setting up at the flash, but Ferg gets flashed as well. Is he going to be able to find the kill? Taco's there, and it's Taco getting the work done.
And FNX has been boosted up in the middle. He actually picks up Pasha. They were doing for the aggressive peek into main and the counter boost. Snacks finally taking out Fallen, but it might have been too late in the day right here. Taz looking for a shot. Taco goes down. That's the bomb going to be picked up again. It is a 2-on-2. That smoke just separating Snacks and Fur, and somehow this actually sort of puts a bit of a chill on the pistol round because now they're just going to be running back with the bomb. Fur and Cold Zero, they're not quite sure where the remaining VP members are. What a mad way to start a pistol round. They're going to be running all the way into the B-bomb site, and nobody's there to stop them. And right now, Luminosity do not have a defuse kit picked up, so that could be a really important factor. I'm not sure where it is. It must be somewhere on the ground, but they need to find it and get back in here. The bomb being planted for checkers as well, so that's a very open plant, easier for Virtus.pro to try and see if they could defend. Cold Zero just trying to see if he could make this opening work, but he's got to wait for Fur, who's running in. There's still no kit picked up, so they're going to have to do this without the defuse, and that's not going to be so easy. Fur jumping in, looking for the shot. Snacks mid-air, and now it's all on Cold Zero. In a 1-on-2, it started so well for Luminosity, but this is an almost impossible crossfire to walk into. A little bit of a decoy coming out just to screw with him, and Snacks going to end up with a triple kill. Virtus.pro take the pistol round in spite of some very, very good kills from Taco early on.
And we had some true Snacks kind of play there, using the smoke to his advantage. I mean, this is what this guy is famous for. Whenever that smoke goes down, he's so good at darting in and out, at using it to block off certain angles, and he was able to sneak in, get the kill, sneak back out again. That is just pure Snacks play. But I'm more worried about what this is going to do to Luminosity. I'm sure they felt like they had everything under control, that they had managed to actually execute an excellent counter strat to what VP were putting out there, and then it all just like slips out of their fingers, one kill at a time. Snacks and Taz just completely ruining the start for them here. So VP now, they have the rifles. They're the ones who are going to be able to set up and wait to see what Luminosity have in store for them, because Luminosity, they did not elect to prioritize nades in the first buy round. That'll be coming up in the fourth. Instead, they have bought the Kevlar this round. They really have put quite a bit of money in here.
Well, I mean, look at what a great strategy is as well. They flash into main, but they also boost. They do the double boost on over, so no matter where you're defending, you're going to be in a little bit of a weird position, right? You should never expect the other angle of that kind of aggression to come in. You just think it'd be one or the other, usually. But we'll see if pistol and armor here is going to make a big difference. Certainly, Luminosity know how to play, especially those C-set 75s I'm worried about. Cash is one of these maps where you get close, get close enough to use those pistols.
They're looking a little nervous as well, but first, he's going to have the angle here. They don't even check the corner, and he's not going to find the kill. What happens? Pasha with the double. And now FNX, he's a bit too late. The smoke goes down, and he's going to get sprayed down through it. Bialy and Snacks teaming up on him, and it's going to be down to Cold and Taco now. And Cold, a bit surprised he wasn't able to have more of an impact with the USP. He's so consistent with the pistol, but he's not going to find a kill with the Deagle either. And Snacks, well, he's just got no mercy, Anders. That's all it boils down to.
Well, I mean, when you're in a quarterfinals at this stage, there really is no time for that, is there? You're just going to have to forget about that, even though we did see that emotional segment from FNX earlier on. Might be a little sympathy for Luminosity, but Taco in the corner, not even going to be able to get the kill. Pasha going to end up taking him out. That's 3 kills with a Mac 10. It's going to secure him some decent money. That's $600, I believe, per kill. So quite a bit of money in the bank there for him. The third round coming up, and the Brazilian team not going to be able to pick up any kind of rifles just yet. It'll have to be the 4th round before we get that kind of action from them. But this is a bit of a shaky start. You saw, Fur should have been able to get the 1 kill at least there.
He had the drop on him as well. And you think because of the Mac 10, the model, you think he has his hand out? Oh, he's got a nade in his hand? No, actually, it's just the Gangsta Lean coming in there. full spray and pray. And Bialy, that's not the best kind of scenario. At least it lands on a place where there's stairs, and stairs, they get in the way of the HE's shrapnel, so he's not going to take any damage from it. A little bit of a mistake, though. He might be a little miffed with himself, but it's fine. 2-0 lead for VP, and Luminosity on the hard eco, obviously, going into the next round where they're going to want as much money as possible to buy all the nades to go along with those rifles.
A bit sad here, because actually Luminosity had a pretty good stack at A, but they didn't buy any flashbangs. I mean, again, why not try and just invest in it? They normally do. Taz just cleaning up in the middle. Again, imagine if they had just one flash to pop into the middle before they go for that 4-man peak. Would have been much better. Taz with the triple kill. And Luminosity now, I mean, the way that Virtus.pro coming into this, you got to wonder already. We've been talking about that, the Virtus plow pretty much all morning. This is how it starts, and that's why they got to shut it down, you know, kill it before it evolves here, because this is going to get really bad for Luminosity if they can't stop them early on. Fallen has picked up the AWP, and Neo has on the other side.
Neo, he's dropped down to $0. That's all of his money spent, but this is it. This is the big round to really start things off strong here for VP. Luminosity, they're so light on nades because of that force buy in the second round. And so Fallen, he did prioritize. He always does prioritize the AWP just to have that sniper rifle to bring to the fight, but I mean, so long as VP are patient, that's all they have to be. They go to a default setup here across the map. They're going to wait and see if Luminosity push them anywhere, and that's all they have to do. They just have to run down the clock because they know that Luminosity aren't going to have a huge number of nades to work with to slow them down once that push starts coming in.
I mean, they've got one smoke grenade right now on Fur, and that's it. We've got 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. That is absolutely dreadful. So it's going to be a really, really tough time, I think, for LG. All right, and VP are playing this one slowly. They may be going for a bit of a peek. They could definitely. They've got 3 people on A right now. It'd almost be a shame if they didn't pop flash into main at some point to check what's going on, because otherwise that stack also obviously gives up mid control for Luminosity. So they kind of have to get something out of doing that stack. Otherwise, I don't think it's necessarily worth it. 50 seconds now as they try and make their way in.
Oh, and they're going to go for the counter boost in mid, aren't they? Fallen and Fur, they might be able to have a very quick rotation if they want, but it doesn't look like they've committed to it. Instead, it's going to be Neo taking the peak. Snax is going to find FNX on this A site, and there's just the pincer movement coming in. Short control is lost. Fur takes one with them, but that's not going to be good enough. Fur was the one who was actually boosted up, so they did go for it in the end. So it's a 2-on-3 retake now for Luminosity. They really don't have much time to go for here.
No, they don't have any grenades. They can't even zone out anything. Neo and then Bialy to follow it up, and it's a beautiful round from Virtus.pro. And again, Luminosity, I mean, when you stack 3 members in A like that, you have to get something out of it, right? But they give up that mid control, and you saw how that just gave the opening for Virtus.pro. The defense didn't matter anymore because they weren't expecting that angle to come in, and I think they honestly should have.
All they have to do, exactly, all they have to do, VP, is split 3 and 2.
Yeah.
3 through main, 2 through short, and then what are you going to do? You just get caught in a vice on Luminosity's side. And right now, it's a little bit of nerves coming in from Luminosity. I think that rough start on the pistol didn't really get them off. Sometimes they are, you know, a very like confidence-based. You know, they want to get that strong start, and then they become unstoppable. These teams kind of match out that way. But Snax just getting the anti-eco kills.
It's not necessarily an easy flick for Neo. I think he was double scoped then, so a little bit questionable. But it works out just fine. And coldzera just still damage is important here. I mean, he's clearly not going to win a 1v5 with just a deagle and no armor here, but you know, getting a couple of kills could still matter. It's going to be Bialy picking up a couple of kills. Whenever we watch Virtus.pro play, I always look for Bialy to pick up kills early, because I think he is, I mean, I think he's the youngest of the team with Snax, and I think he's just maybe a little bit sort of more emotional when it comes to these things. I think having a good start is important for specifically Bialy. I mean, Virtus.pro right now, 5-0. This is a terrific start.
For VP as a whole, though, they're getting the perfect start because Snax is getting all of these kills, and that's just going to turn him into the full raid boss mode where Luminosity just aren't going to be able to handle this guy. He's sitting 9-3-1 right now, leading the charge. Bialy, Pasha, everybody else kind of catching up to him. But if Snax is hitting his shots, that's a win condition for VP. That's when they really start to look so dangerous. We're going to have another flash setup coming in here to main any second now. Taco Fur, turn around, full flash on Snax, and it should be a slaughter, and it does. Taco with the triple spray down. He's going to make the difference. They're trying to bring it back, VP, and Taz on the side is going to be able to team up with Pasha. So a 2-on-3, and now a 2-on-2. The lurk for Pasha making it happen, but we have a very quick flank coming in from FNX, and the bomb is planted for him.
Oh, wow, he should have got that kill. He goes for it again. Pasha not expecting it. Taz hitting the one headshot, and now it is going to be a 1v1. The bomb's out of the open, and coldzera is making a long rotation all the way through Squeak. And Taz, this is going to be very, very hard for him to see coming. You gotta wonder though, the door is actually closed, and coldzera, yeah, he knows if he opens that door, he's gonna give up his position. He has to simply fall back here, and Taz has got plenty of time to work with. if he already had the bomb, you got to wonder if he wouldn't have simply tried to sneak into the B-bomb site with all this time that's left. But right now, it is a little bit down to sort of random timing who comes out on top here, because Cold Zero, if he's looking the wrong way when he walks in, Taz still thinking he's going to come from one of the other angles. He's actually out in the open now. Cold Zero could have just about the perfect timing, but now Taz is starting to suspect that something might be up. He's checked pretty much every angle that you can now, so there actually isn't that much left. He's pretty much ruled out every other angle than this one, and now he's going to be sneaking in. Cold Zero in the perfect position. That's going to be it. Luminosity picking up the first round of the quarterfinals here for themselves. 1-5 is the current scoreline, favoring Virtus.pro. It's about time.
First round for Luminosity, first kill for Cold in a 1v1 clutch. That's the ticket. That's what he needs to start getting the ball rolling for himself here, because both him and Fallen are struggling a little bit. It's been Taco who's really been benefiting a lot from these flash pushes into main. He just keeps racking up these kills on incapacitated VP members. So when is he going to be able to step up and actually have that impact when they aren't getting that setup on Luminosity's side? And now VP actually decided to change things up. That's enough A. Let's go ahead and take a knock at B and see how the defense is faring over here. And that's going to be Fallen on point here. He's got that AWP.
Yeah, and look at Luminosity. They've got 3 members stacked in middle, so huge around the mid control going into it right now. If they realized Fallen was alone right now, it'd be easy for them to isolate him, even with Fur coming in for the vents. It's definitely possible. We'll see if it's going to be a bit of action here. Fallen looking for the peak. He spots the head, and Taz going to be going. Yo, second shot coming through, and Pasha's going to be going down. That's now a 3-0. Nothing being traded here. Virtus.pro just not able to reply. Finally, Neo jumps and puts his AK in Fallen's face, and FNX going to be going down to Snacks. And somehow we're back in a 2-1-3, and the bomb was about to be picked up here. Still a slim and outside chance here for Virtus.pro to bring it back in this round. Turning around for it, Neo goes for the spray and takes out Fur, but is he realizing there's a second man there? He won't be, and Taco going to take him out, which does leave Snacks all alone here in a 1-on-2 with a very, very tough clutch for him to try and do.
And it is so difficult because he doesn't have any utility left either. No flashes, no smokes, nothing to make his life easier. He's actually going to coast back here. He's got the time, so why not run over a couple of them, see if they dropped anything for him to use. Not going to happen, though, and now he's actually going to be all the way back towards T-spawn, where Cold and Taco, they've rotated actually through mid. They want to cut things in half. If he goes A, they want a quick run onto A. Same thing if he goes B. They're just going to be stacking together so that if Snacks catches one of them off guard, the other one's going to be there very quickly to be able to refrag and just lock down that round. That's what Luminosity want to play off of here. But Snacks, just enough time for him to rotate around to A site.
Yeah, and of all the players you wouldn't want to try and mind game, Snacks would probably be it. Yeah. His intuition, his game sense is, I think, almost sort of unique, and there are very not many players in the game that can sort of, do what he does. It is around smokes, but it obviously goes much deeper than that. Now Taco and Cold sort of have to run back here. They also don't have any grenades, and look at this position from Snacks here. He's looking for headshots, and he needs just 2 of them to make this work, but they're just charging in. They're not even challenging him right now, so they're going to be in a perfect position to zone him out here. No one spotted him just yet. They're jumping. Snacks out in the open. This is not a good position to be in. He tries for the spray, but he's going to end up going down. Taco and Cold Zero staying as a unit, and they're going to be picking up the second round, but they're suffering a lot of casualties in these rounds, Summer. Their economy is still dreadful, even winning 2 in a row here.
And what's worse is that they had to leave Fallen's op over on that B site, so they can't actually pick one up for him, and they aren't going to have the money for it. Taco just short of being able to just dry drop one for him. So we saw the impact that Fallen has. Once he gets that AWP and you come running at him, he gets 2 kills out of it. This is actually what's a little nerve-wracking here for Luminosity, is just the fact that they keep getting these strong starts in the rounds, but then Virtus.pro are just so good at finding these kills that even things up, and then you wind up in these clutch situations. Luminosity, they need to start getting decisive with their kills, with their wins. They just need to completely slam VP and stop all this funny business.
Further with the MP9, that has me just a little bit nervous, because obviously VP are still able to buy. They had built so much money from the first 5 rounds there. He is sneaking very, very aggressively right now. Taco going to be getting the first kill on Neo. Snacks with a great refrag there. And Taco going down. You've got to think, Virtus.pro right now, they seem to have realized very early on in this half here that Luminosity are being very aggressive on the CT side. So they're anticipating it now, and that's a problem. LG got to change this up.
Yeah, that's where it starts. Exactly. Once you start going for default setups on the T side, where you're going to be in positions where if you get flashed, you can fall back safely, or if they go for the counter boost in mid, you hold back at truck. I mean, these sorts of plays, that's what VP are going to start making their bread and butter. It's going to come down to the individual plays, like that one there. FNX gets the headshot on Snacks. Snacks has been the one hitting all these shots as well, but yeah, sure, they've got Molotovs, but he needs to get support from his teammates, and that's actually what is going to happen. Coldy comes all the way out into mid, but he can't actually land the kill. Taz, in the meantime, roasts FNX, and there was just no way out for the remaining Luminosity players. It's now down to Fallen. He's got the M4, but he doesn't have that AWP. And so now it's all about him just trying to catch somebody out of position. He needs to find Taz or Bialy peeking, overstepping themselves because, I mean, Pasha is pretty far away right now.
They really
Taz, they have no idea that he is there, so Fallen...
They really cannot afford to lose this round, can they? Because they're going to be economically reset. Fallen has got to come up with a huge clutch here. His team desperately needs it. If he gets the 1 kill in, but no, he's not going to get it. Bialy will shut him down. If he could have killed Taz and Bialy on the bomb site, Pasha would have been quite far away, and he would have had a bit of a difficult time actually getting in to stop the defuse there. But this sandbags position, when they had 3 Molotovs left, I think FNX was always going to die in that position. The best he could have done was trade. I mean, he always got the first kill, but trade again, that would have been even better.
The issue here is that they're just broke again, Luminosity. This is the perfect scenario for VP. Luminosity, because they haven't been able to win the rounds decisively, keep 3, 4 players alive, means they have no money left. So VP, sure, they lost 2 rounds in a row, but then, you know, this hard reset is just going to completely wreck Luminosity. They're back onto pistols. They just go for a small investment, evening things out. Actually, Cold Zera full bot. He spent everything he has, and so this is a risky play. It's kind of that half-half, you know, are we committed to the round or not sort of situation for Luminosity, and that doesn't bode well. You really need to be decisive with the team, you know, with the call. It's either you fully commit to it. You don't want in the next buy round to have, you know, one guy's like, oh, all I can get is a, you know, CZ guys, you know, shucks, sorry, I spent all my money in the last one. That's not how it's supposed to work.
I agree, and I think Luminosity, you've got to remember as well, there are a lot of teams now that get a lot of rounds on the T side of Cash and not so many on the CT side, so don't panic just yet. It's not really worth it.
This outlines it perfectly. This is what we're talking about. Luminosity keep going for that flash into A main. Bialy's position, where he is back there, he doesn't get blinded, and it's not easy to rush him down and gang up on him close quarters with those pistols. So it's exactly this. VP now, they figured it out. They're like, if you're going to be aggro, we'll play these positions, we'll be safe. And now you're going to have to come up with something different.
Yeah, and you're right, because even if they did flash him, he would just be strafing right, and that's it. He'd be out of danger immediately. So it's definitely not worth it. And they do need to find a switch up here. Their money is still not looking good, and you know, the people who had a little bit of money here are going to even it out with a couple of deagles, and that will be it. The current scoreline is 7-2, favoring Virtus.pro. You got to remember, they are at least sort of theoretically on the least favored side of Cash, although I hesitate to say that given the history lately. But they're also the underdogs here. Luminosity a massive favorite to make it through this best of 3. It's off to a bit of a questionable start. I have no doubt they're going to change it around, though. If not in this map, then in the next. Taz opening up Squeak. It's going to be Neo to open the bomb site, and in the corner, Taco being isolated. Oh,
and a perfect entry kill. Bialy and Taz just doing work. And VP, this was a bit of a catch-all scenario there. They were in position to deal with any kind of flash play coming into A main. Neo turned away, and so had Luminosity gone aggressive, it would have been fine, but VP, they get the perfect read. They realize, all right, we showed you that we're playing passive in the last round, so we don't think you're going to go for that again. So now we'll change the pace up, we'll get in your face, and we'll take control, whether you have rifles or not. So it works perfectly for VP, and that's going to put them up on 8 rounds. Luminosity, man, the pressure now is going to be monstrous on these guys, because this next round is going to make or break this half for them. If they lose it, they're just not going to have enough. They might eke out enough money for a full buy, but it's not going to be pretty.
I mean, everyone right now on VP is doing very well, but look at Snacks and Taz. Taz has got 11, 2, and 2. And the thing is, he's such a character, right? He gets extremely fired up, extremely how you know he's going to bring the team with him. The mental state right now is going to be brilliant on the Polish side here. 8-2 scoreline, and we do have what I have to assume is a tactical timeout here. Luminosity is something that they have talked about in the past. When the sort of the score difference becomes too big, if they ever end up in a 6-0 type scoreline, and I guess 8-2 is a similar thing mathematically speaking, they will just take a sort of a timeout. It's the fail-safe, right? Just chill, see what happens. They are able to buy in this round, and we'll see. I hope they won't be playing so defensively. I hope they're going to try and just go for a bit of a default setup here.
What an artiste.
That's impressive.
Very nice, very nice. But you're right. I mean, Luminosity are also one of those tier 1 teams. It's basically it's almost the difference between the tier 1 teams and the tier 2 teams. Tier 1 teams, when they take a timeout, things change. There is an impact. It has an impact. The tier 2 teams, they might take that timeout, but then they might still be doing the same thing. It doesn't quite gel what they talked about during the timeout, or they just aren't able to, get things rolling. Luminosity are perfectly capable of making adjustments and figuring out exactly what they need to do versus Virtus.pro here. And what is going to be the play? Because Fur has gone aggressive in mid. They have not gone for counter boost. Oh, they went for counter boost in the pistol round, but then they got wrecked. Are they going to be able to actually... It's a question of whether Luminosity can find the confidence to actually just go for the aggressive mid plays again, change things up, and not allow VP to just get full map control every time.
They tried to do that counter boost again with the exact same play, sort of flashing into main and the counter boost when they had rifles, and that's still got a little bit questionable. I think that was one of the rounds they won, but it's hard to replicate, especially now that VP are so aware that they're doing it, right? I mean, that only works if you've been playing passively for a while, and then suddenly there's the aggression, right? It doesn't work if you just keep doing it.
Does Fallen go aggressive B Halls with the op? That could be the next place because they've been giving so much attention to A main. B Halls, Fallen has been playing it fairly passively.
I'd say rather than going aggressively, if you know VP are going to be waiting around for the first 35 seconds of the round, waiting for you to go aggressive, then save all your smokes for the first 35 seconds. Let them wait it out. Then you've got the Molotovs, you've got the HEs, you've got the smoke grenades. Just buy time, buy as much time as you can, and see if they make mistakes under pressure. Instead of feeding them the early trades. I think that makes more sense right now. We are about to head back in here. We've got just 10 seconds on the countdown as we resume the game. First half, first map in this quarterfinals. And we are going to get back into it. I mean, Fallen with that AWP. I want to see some more big rounds out of him. Currently got 3 kills. Only really Taco doing a lot of work on the LG side right now. He's got nearly as many kills as the rest of his team has combined.
But there is aggression in mid, and I do like this. Now Luminosity, they do put 2 in there. Fur playing super passive on B, and this time Fallen's the one who's changed up his position. Look at this with the AWP. He gets it to work perfectly. Pasha is down, and now he's on the hunt for Neo, but don't overextend yourself, Fallen. You got 1 kill, that's good. Now he actually needs to get out of there because he's about to get pinched. He has no way out, but that sets it up for FNX to come in. 2 kills for him. Fallen gets a drop on Neo, and now it's all down to Taz, who's doing good work for VP, but in a 1v4, it's not looking too hot.
No, right now Taz has to do damage. Again, the LG economy is not looking good. If they can come out of a round like this with 4 members alive, that's just everything that they need. That was about to go very, very bad quick for Fallen because he was almost running into that squeak door, which are 3 members there. So that could have been horrible, but it works out just fine. And Taz sneaking away with the bomb. He's got the time, but Fur is also in T spawn. You got to think he's going to have the right angle for it here. Almost no way that Taz could see this coming. Smoke making him a bit suspicious, but he's still essentially sort of looking the wrong way. And they're giving him some room to work with, but it should be a quick death here. Taz actually turning around, and that was almost a dead-on
that was
shot.
Sick.
That was scary.
Still got the reactions, that's for sure. Sees it coming, but I mean, I have to give it, sure, Fallen, he drew a lot of attention to himself with that early pick in A main and staying alive, but I have to give that MVP, or the round, to FNX, because he acted so quickly using Fallen as bait. Everybody from the Virtus.pro going to be focused on killing Fallen, and he comes to the rescue, guns blazing, gets 2 kills, allows for Fallen to have the element of surprise on Neo. Everything falls into place very quickly when, as the CT side, they're able to collapse together, and FNX, he took advantage of the situation, he acted, and there's a key round on the board now for Luminosity. They have 3, VP have 8, and VP doesn't look like they want to change anything from the last round, actually. They're just going to go straight towards A once again, getting control here.
I mean, the money for Virtus.pro is still ridiculous. They have so much in the bank. Even if they've lost a round here, they can still continue to buy for a while. Luminosity, they've got such a long half ahead of them, even if we're in the 12th round here. That's a nice pop flash in from Taz, opening the door himself from that grenade that he banks in. So I really like that little detail. Let's see what Taco could show us right now. He's setting up for what looks like a pop flash of his own. There is some, I mean, I wouldn't say mid-control for FNX, he's just looking and out for middle, which is fine. I'm happy with that. Just make sure you've got eyes on it at least. And it does look like VP are setting up for a push here to A.
Delayed flash, Cold just dunking the incendiary in, and he's in position now. This is going to be the key spot. Taco looking to buy a little bit more time here with a minute left on this clock. Neo is hoping for somebody to get impatient, go for the peak. Even trying to prompt things with that Molotov, but now this is allowing for Luminosity. The number of nades coming in, the full rotations coming out. They're soon going to have 4 players here on this A side, and Cold, he's looking to take the fight straight up. He's going to get flashed in, but he fails it. Gets caught out by Snacks. Taco is there, though, with the double kill. And now there's the man advantage for him, and it's soon to be. He's making all the difference. He's doing massive damage. Neo low. Taz is now the last one alive, and he'll bring it back to a 1v2. Gets the bomb plant and looks for the fake, but he's not going to find Fur up in the heavens. 4 rounds for Luminosity. And these are all-out battles, Anders.
Wow.
Where did this Taco come from? The guy gets beat up on for months. Cold, Fur, these guys are getting all the attention. Taco just struggling along, and all of a sudden it's this complete role reversal, or now he's the one. He's looking for the fights. He's hungry to get in the fight and get these kills. 10 kills for him so far on the board, and he's still leading the way for Luminosity.
And the flashbang coming in from his teammates as well. They're just setting it up very nicely. Now, I mean, it looks like a double up setup here for Luminosity. That would certainly indicate that they're going for a more passive style.
Fallen for, now they go for the counter boost. Now they're trying to change it up, keep at least a little bit of positioning game going on here. Luminosity in mid. It's going to be Cold taking Fallen for the last time. Goes for the aggressive peek into A main. Manages to make it work by picking off Snacks. But in the meantime, Luminosity, they've also got a little bit of a crossfire going in mid, so you have to love it. They're really trying to shift up this CT side. After the pause, seems like Luminosity have finally figured out where they need to be putting their focus. FNX and Fur. FNX isn't on his own anymore.
I mean, they are right on the edge as well. They really got to make sure that they get the remainder of these rounds, make it an 8-7 half here. Then they still got a really good fighting chance. But if they don't, you really got to wonder if they can make it back right now. Again, their economy is still not strong enough to take any kind of a loss. They have to continue to build rounds on what they have here. The bomb's still in the middle right now for Virtus.pro. Bialy going to go and pick it up now. It seems like maybe VP trying to switch to the A-bomb side, but Fallen hitting that shot is going to make life miserable for VP. Now a 3-on-5. And Luminosity in a great position.
Fur still a little out there. Unfortunately, Fallen, he wasn't able to spot more than one, so it isn't a whole lot of information to go off of. They're trying to peek, though. This is key. The Luminosity, as you guys can see on the minimap, they're still rotating around, actually, trying to get some information in mid. Are they there? Are they going to be trying to wrap on A? Are they going towards vents? Anything to be able to actually figure out what's happening, because Fallen, he's not going to hit the second flick. That was way too close. But Fur, he's got the drop on Taz. Taz is never going to be expecting this. FNX doesn't actually need Fur's help in the end. But this is an impossible situation for Bialy in a 1v4. He takes the first kill, manages to find Fur, but he's not going to be able to get the drop on FNX. Instead, he's the one to fall. And now things are coming together for Luminosity. Now they have the double op, and they keep 3 players alive.
Actually, what Bialy just did is kind of smart. So he has 2 choices, right? He can try and fake it and take a fight, and he's probably not going to win the round, because of it. But if he just goes for the plant, they're going to get so close that he will, get the $800 bonus for his team. But then he'll die. So, that's a little bit of money in the bank of Virtus.pro that's already so big that they can still buy. Whereas Luminosity, if they lose another member, that's a lot of money that Luminosity don't have. So, it really makes sense for Bialy to get even just one more kill there. I think it's a good trade-up. 8-5 being the current scoreline here, but you can tell that the Brazilians, they're trying to get back into it here. They're starting to feel it now. FNX does give up a bit of mid-control here, and that's so dangerous. We saw what happened last time when Luminosity had the 3-man stack at A. They ended up getting sandwiched in from Highway and Main, and right now, Virtus.pro, they've got just everybody in middle, it seems. They can do whatever they want here. Fallen alone inside the bomb site. He's going to get the first kill, and that's hugely important. If he dies, so does the bomb site. Now they're trying to see if they can follow up behind him and actually get in here. Fallen isolated in the corner. He needs backup quick, and it's going to be Fur coming in with the most unlikely weapon, an MP9 trailing in behind. Neo picking up the kill, and now it's a 3-on-5. Fallen finding another kill. Somehow they actually are making it out of this round. Snacks coming up with 2 huge kills, but it still might not be enough here. They're in the bomb site, and they do have the bomb. The problem is, on B, you don't want to be isolated in the side. You want to be able to actually fight your way out again. So they get the bomb down, but I don't see how they can make it out of this round.
Cold, he needs to be smart about how he uses this incendiary. It's the one nade that they have on Luminosity's side, but he can use it to force one of these players out into the open. Snacks with that AWP, for example, has got the angle on him, however, so we'll see. But they're trying to wait. This is actually very smart of Luminosity. They're waiting to see if the pressure is going to get to Virtus.pro. Virtus.pro, they need to make the play. They're patient, and it pays off. And Taz catches out FNX as well. A series of duels, and this is exactly how VP were hoping it would play out. And Taz will be the one to get the final kill. Taco laid low, and VP up on 9 rounds.
Wow, that is not so easy. 3 members coming in. There's a lot of different angles to cover in. If you just lose one player, then obviously the other one's going to be completely gone. 9-5, and the 15th round is coming up here. The last of the first half. And we are going to see this. This is more, I think, than Virtus.pro were dreaming of. Already 9 rounds in the first half. That's quite something.
And because of how these rounds have played out, Luminosity, look at this buy. A single AWP on Fallen, a single rifle on Taco. I guess it's the 2 heavy hitters, so that works. Fur with the MP9, not looking too hot. This time, what is this? Fallen taking huge risks, and Snacks is going to catch him. Once that smoke goes in, once that deep smoke goes in, you always have to wonder, wait a second.
Well, I mean, it's also just, again, they've been very, very aggressive. I think VP, they've started to become, just a little paranoid, but it's justified given how much aggression has been coming out from the Brazilian side. Fur is going to go down very early on, and Pasha actually is securing the entire B bomb site. Bialy, maybe not needed, but he gets a kill on Taco anyway over at A side, because why not? There's finally a reply from Cold Zero. Point blank range nearly with that C-set 75, and no bomb plant. Cold Zero doing a very good job, but FNX goes down. It's going to be a 10-5 first half, favoring Polish Virtus.pro here. They showed up for today. You can tell that they are tuned in.
They've definitely done their work. 17 kills for assists and 8 deaths for Snacks, who leads the way for VP. Taz is right behind him, 15, 2, and 5. And on the other side, we have some of the key players, well, basically the 2 key players that we looked at for Luminosity, right? The 2 stars who are supposed to be doing the majority of the work, Fur and Cold, low single digits.
Yeah.
That cannot happen for Luminosity. Coming into this match, we were talking about how each of these players is going to need to be on point to be able to stand up to Virtus.pro. We're just not seeing it right now. FNX has had his moments. Taco with a couple of the sprays, has done some plays, but Fur and Cold, they need to come alive in this T side, or it's over here for Luminosity on this first map.
I think part of the problem is because they started the round being so aggressive when they had a bit of an economy going, they started to try and be aggressive, which means then VP just instantly said, well, we'll just play all the rounds quite slow. When then Luminosity did have money to play defensively, when they have rifles again and play defensively, they didn't have enough grenades to really sort of carry that through, right? So they were always in this weird position where because we don't have enough grenades, we are always going to be inclined to go aggressive. That's what we want to do to sort of make up for the lack of grenades, except we've already done that so much that VP see it coming every time, and if we play defensively, we're simply not going to have the grenades to sort of run down the clock far enough, and then VP will execute on the bomb side like they've been doing on A, for instance, when they sandwich that side. So it's sort of, they play themselves into a bit of a weird position in that way.
What I'm worried about is that we've seen a lot of struggle on the CT side. They get an advantage early on, but then they aren't able to hold it either. Snacks and Taz keep finding ways to infiltrate the defense, get the backstab, just like the before last round there. Snacks from on high, Fur and Fallen, they got off to such a strong start, but then he just comes out of nowhere on upper, boom, boom, and opens up the B site. Like these sorts of situations, they've just been happening all half long for Luminosity. Going into their T side, okay, what happens? They get onto a bomb site, they get the plant. Are they going to be able to hold, though? It's in the second half of the round that we've really seen Luminosity, a bit of a breakdown on the team side. So they need to keep it together the full round through. This is what has to happen. So Luminosity starting on 5 rounds here at the beginning of the second half. 10 rounds for VP. And Luminosity, smoke, flash, flash, no raid boss.
Right, so just a single smoke. I mean, it can be used on either bomb site, really, but I think the B bomb site is just a little bit more likely. There are so many angles on A that one smoke's probably not going to make a big difference. So that would be my immediate guess that probably they would end up at the B bomb site. They are going to go in and check A main quick here, see what's happening, but falling, just falling in the middle, holding far back with the bomb, not really exposing himself. And look how defensive VP are playing. They're actually playing a retake strat on the A bomb site, meaning, yeah, if they can get the kills by Ali and Taz as they cross in, that's fine. But if they can't, then they got all 5 members to retake with.
They have a slight variation going on it, though. Extra man over on that A side. Instead of it just being Taz at car, Bialdi's there to back him as well. Neo and Snacks also playing pretty far back on that B side. It's almost like a retake everywhere. Neo, he does have a way out of this. He's not on upper, so he will be looking into B halls. He can try and scoop back if he gets the pressure, but...
Well, and even better, Snacks is right behind him with the smoke, so if they try to rush Neo down, that would actually not be such an easy thing to try and accomplish either. Right now,
exactly.
Luminosity, probably expecting that there'd be some aggression from the VP side, because you could tell that they've just been waiting around, well, for a very long time. We're down to 50 seconds. They are going to need to find a way to actually get back in this round, and they're moving towards the B bomb side, which is sort of what we were expecting a little bit here. The smoke of Fallen is probably going to go up right where Neo is standing, so they want to try and... You can either smoke up or you could smoke the sort of the cross there, but you can see Fallen setting up for the cross smoke. This is not an easy one. It's actually extreme. I don't know if you've ever tried this, but it's very, very hard to hit this smoke. You have to be sort of pixel perfect with it. Otherwise, it leaves a gap and you could bend you. There are 2 members of VP. They're going to exploit it. It will land in there, and it looks like it's dead on. So Fallen not missing the opportunity. That's absolutely perfect. Stunning smoke coming through, in fact, and all of Luminosity just making their way in, blind shots going through and not connecting with anything. So yeah, VP, they're going to have the retake they were setting up for. It's just at the wrong bomb site, and retaking B, it could be much harder. Bialdi's going to make it in here as well, and Luminosity, they have the bomb down. They have every single member alive. And Virtus.pro, they have a kit on Snacks, but this is going to be a brutal, brutal round for them. Flash goes in, Neo in the corner. He's going to get shut down from Foe. Picks up a second kill. 3rd headshot coming through, and Foe knocking Virtus.pro out of this round. Pasha going to be the only man standing in a 1-on-5. What an unlikely pistol round.
And that actually plays out whether they were going to be able to close things out, Luminosity, or not. They were struggling to do so on their CT side. T side, 5-on-5, they hold it perfectly. And that was a sexy smoke. It just goes, it slides off the top of that box, off of the curve there.
And that's part of the problem is because that box is just a bit weird. If you don't know what you're doing, if you get it just wrong a little bit, it will land to the side in that tiny hallway. It's, I know I've tried it for quite a few times, and it's very hard to do actually. Especially when there's a lot riding on it here, when you're this far behind. If that becomes the weakness in your execute and you lose a couple of members crossing over, You're not going to feel great about it, are you?
Just here for pins, huh? Going to be standing in line. No version 2 pins as far as I know, so. Wah, wah.
Oh, man. Well, Snack's taking a bit of damage. Good start on the TC. It propelled Virtus.pro into a fantastic position. It could do the same for Luminosity. We've seen comebacks from much worse score lines on cash than this.
Oh, yeah. It's perfectly possible. I mean, all they have to do is control the economy the way that Virtus.pro did with them. Make sure that they're always struggling with nades, always trying to find a way to get into the game. As long as they can't afford incendiaries, HEs, the flashes, everything, the whole kit and caboodle for VP, Luminosity are perfectly capable of doing the same. And Fur getting such a strong start in the pistol, that should get him fired up. That's necessary. He gets up to 9 kills now. So we have to see if he can keep up. He's got that AK as well taking point. A little bit of a scary scenario in case he loses it, but Cold will catch out Neo. No safety there on the B side. Taz falls to mid. That's Fur opening things. It's going to be on the B side that they commit, however, Luminosity, and they're just going to go charging through. The only man here is Snacks, and he's already been tagged. He's looking for Juan Dig, but unfortunately, he's out to lunch.
Oh, man, that looked like he had a good opportunity to get at least one of the clicks in there.
Yeah.
A nice little lurk in the middle from Fur is going to give them a 10-7 scoreline here. So the gap has closed quite a bit, and Virtus.pro still are not able to buy. Will be another round here with the no armor and maybe a couple of pistols here for the Virtus.pro team. So just a bit, I think also a bit of breathing room here for Luminosity, where they could sort of relax. I mean, it's obviously not quite a tactical timeout, but you get a little bit of time to sort of ease into the second half here, and I think that helps out quite a bit. Got 3 SMGs actually being picked up here for the Luminosity side, so I think that's a bit greedy still. I prefer just the 2.
I agree.
Have 2 and have them scout, you know, but they are at least leading the charge, and that's good news.
And this is actually a hard eco coming out, so they really do want to just try and make as much money, but in a single round, making all that money back with the SMG, it can be a bit tricky. And if you have 3 of them, there just aren't enough kills to go around. So, not a huge fan of it, but if you just sack a player in there and you lose a MAC 10, it's not the end of the world either. It's not really going to give VP too much to work with. And once again, VP, they're having flat. Oh, oh, that's a bit frustrating. That smoke is supposed to block off CT, so life just got a little bit more difficult here for Luminosity. Pasha, he will find the kill in the end. Taco goes down. Bialy calmly clicking away. Will take out Fallen. And that's one of the rifles down, but they will be able to pick it up on Luminosity. They should be able to save it. It shouldn't be the end of the world here.
Well, Pasha and Bialy, I mean, again, just removing some of those SMGs. One of the AKs is gone as well, so we've got to see if they could find that and pick it up somewhere. Maybe FNX who has to help for it. Fur going to be running right into Pasha, and that is a good second kill coming through. Fur able to, or eating a bullet there.
Why do you run that way if you have the AK and you're alone?
Yeah.
Here, Pasha, it's Christmas early, bro. Have it. Hopefully you wreck us with it in the next round too. I mean, FNX, can he actually find him? He needs to find Pasha. If Pasha holds on to that AK, this could come back to bite them. And FNX, he does not make it. He just makes it in time. Huge save. He needs to save it. Will he be able to pick it up in time? No, he doesn't. But it's better. It's better that Pasha doesn't get it. You do not want to give the CT side the AK.
That would have been the worst, I think, if they could have actually saved that. That gives them so much more money to work with to buying different grenades. 10-8 is the current scoreline. We're moving into the 19th round. Pasha picking up the AWP, and we've got Fallen with one of his own on the terrorist side here. A lot is going to be decided in this one round. You saw the spiral of bad economy going into the first half for Luminosity, and Virtus.pro could take the same route. On the CT side, if you start running out of money, you're just going to be in a bad position all the time. So that's what VP have to try and prevent. Oh, I'm hearing Virtus.pro chants here.
There we go, the chant leader and everything. Sick.
Yeah, keep that up, guys. That's very well coordinated. Oh, the atmosphere in here is absolutely amazing. It's early in Ohio right now, but you know, people have got up for this game, and right now it's turning out to be worth it. It's 10-8, and Bialy going to figure the opening kill there, dropping Taco. That is a nice way to start here for a critical round.
I'm actually getting distracted by the chat. I'm trying to, what are they saying?
Trying to decipher it.
What's happening right now? What's happening is that Taco's been picked.
I think there's a counter chant that's chanting
exactly.
LG.
Man, I mean, just massive pressure on Luminosity at this point, though. And, oh, Fallen. Smoke blooms just in time. Taz does it right. He doesn't peek before the smoke blooms, and so Cold will find a kill on Snacks somehow. But it went all right in mid for VP. 29 seconds, though. There's just not enough time here. A single smoke is here for Pasha.
Yeah, and well, I don't think he should put up. That's why I think he should stay here, because once you pull out that grenade, you know they're going to be peeking right as that happens. He's on the angle right now. FNX sneaking into middle as well. Taz really close, and FNX, he's going to win that fight, but Pasha still in the back lines here. Scoped up into highway, Molotov coming through, close range, Pasha turning his side, and that's going to be Fer getting the kill. Bialy picking up one more. It's still a 2-on-2, but they do not have a kit picked up. They also have no grenades left, so a hard retake coming in here from the Polish side. The bomb is planted default, though, which is always a risk. Fer up on the railing, they see his feet. Bialy picking up a third kill of the round. Cold Sierra now in the back lines, AWP in hand, and this has to be his round. He gets the first shot, killing Bialy, and now Neo alone in a one-on-one, and Cold, he's a monster, but he goes down. Neo, one kill in the round, but that's all he needed. And that will be an 11th round for the Polish team.
Huge round, and Cole just feeling the pressure. Not actually, you know, why didn't he just sit behind? Was he worried about getting flanked? Was he worried about a nade coming in? I mean, his position was known, so that's a risk, sure, but he had the AWP, he had the angle, and Neo just takes advantage of it in the end, catches him out with that P250.
Yeah, make some noise, Ohio. We've got a really good game in our hands here. 20th round coming up, and it's only the first map of the first game of the day. Semi-finals are coming up, and you can bet it's only going to get better from here on out, pretty much. Luminosity, 3 AKs, 1 Tech 9. And Virtus.pro, they don't have a great economy either, Summer. This is a bit sketchy, even winning the round. Yeah,
this is one of those make or break rounds. It's going to determine a lot. VP could run away with it and try and close this map out if they get control here. But it's not over for Luminosity, and Bialy with the boost. This is clever. Taco should have been close enough, though, to hear that. Is this enough to go off of? Do Luminosity have an edge? Because if you know that the boost is in, Bialy is going to be able to wreck one of them, but now they know exactly where he's playing from. FNX is there to get the refrag, and it's a 3-on-3 after plant situation. But Luminosity, they've been struggling with these kinds of situations to close out the rounds, and so now it is all on Neo. Can he come up again? In the boost, he spots it, dunks the nade. Big, no, he goes too far.
Does almost no damage. That should have been the big
opening.
On! But you're right, Luminosity, they have been struggling to actually close this out. Again, they've gone for the default plant. Fallen's in main. I just want to point that out. Could be a little bit sketchy. Flashbang goes in. Neo going to try and see if he can go and check it, but Fallen going to win the fight in spite of the flashbang there. Fer picking up Pasha this time. Luminosity are focused, and Snacks is going to be going down. It's Fallen and Fer to pick up a double kill each and make it to an 11-9 scoreline. And that's going to break VP's economy finally.
Exactly. That's the main point to be made here. It was that game of chicken. They were going at each other right there, and the first one to run off the road, basically. It's going to take them a while to get back into it.
That's a Fnatic shirt. I see an Envy shirt up there. It's almost, you know.
I just see Inception Kappa. Kappa everywhere, man. Kappa in the chat.
Never an event without that, is there?
All right, full P250s across the board, and VP, what are they going to do? They're going to train right into mid, and Fallen's alone on here. He's going to get overwhelmed. Neo and Snacks catch him out, but FNX is there to at least catch the back end. Takes out Taz. Fer's at risk, but his teammate FNX rotates back in to help him. And now it's just Pasha. Good recovery there by Luminosity in the end. That was definitely a scary moment for Fallen.
Yeah, you really, I mean, that always makes you think, oh, did I just give up too much? You know, was that the rifle that's going to win the round? But his teammates are there, as they almost always are. Pasha, just hoping that he could survive the bomb timer here with this AWP. That would be such a big win, but, you know, they're hunting him right now. And actually, Taco, the really nice peek there, sort of jump, shoulder peeking to bait out the shot. That's going to be hard for Pasha to hit anyway. And he's also being shot in the back right now. Can't get the kill. Taco with a good double.
Oh, and he saves the AWP as well. Well played there. Important win, important save. And now Fallen means he has his AWP once again. Obviously, VP, that was a double eco scenario, I think, from them. They just aren't going to have the money to go for a buy. So we should be looking at a tie situation after this round. Luminosity 1 round away from doing so. Single smoke on Pasha, interesting. Do they go for the flash on somebody? I mean, they have the money for a flash. Where's the flash going to get picked up here for VP? There it is. It's on Snacks. Okay, so Snacks will be the playmaker here. Snacks should be setting it up for his teammates.
Yeah, people bringing the flag in here.
I love it. They're going for the same thing. Oh, no. FNX, you're dead, man.
Trying to reload. Backup is not anywhere near. He actually gets the reload in time. He's going to be traded, but... Oh, Fer going down. This is a bit of an issue. A little bit too many casualties in the round here for Luminosity. They are going to win the round, but losing 2 and almost 3. I mean, Cold Sierra is on 4 health here, so a little bit sketchy. It does work out, and now they're going to be able to buy. It won't be sort of full armor and everything with the AWP if they want to buy it, and maybe that's why they're skipping it. They will have a hell of a lot of grenades on the VP side, and I mean, right now, if this trend continues, currently in the second half, it's been 3 rounds for Luminosity, then a single round for VP, then another 3 for Luminosity. If that continues, then obviously LG are going to come back and win this game in spite of a pretty bad start here.
Exactly. And even if VP just win 1 round right now, that's what makes all the difference. Hard reset economy is exactly what Luminosity could be looking for here, but they want to close it out, and they are setting up very strong here on the A side. To begin with, it's only the one-man lurking cold doing a little bit of work on the other side, and this is how VP decide to change things up. They've got Taz very close on mid, so I mean, it's not exactly what Luminosity were doing on their CT side, but VP right now, they just want to make sure that Luminosity are not able to get mid control too early on in the round to give them the options. They want them to work for that map control.
I mean, this setup is good for the mid control. Problem is, Bialy's in that back corner, with all the Molotovs that Luminosity have, if they do execute on this A bomb sign, all of the positions that he can occupy back there are all going to be fired up, which means he's not going to be able to get any backup either. I mean, Pasha and Taz, mid control's there, but they're not going to be able to really rotate into A quick enough to help out. It's an interesting Molotov, but almost, I wonder if any of that fire spills down in front of Taz there.
I just love that they're checking for the counter boost. Just making sure. I mean, we have 4 Molotovs. Use one here. Make sure that nobody can actually sit and wait to greet FNX. The flash goes over, but FNX he doesn't actually spot out Taz. Fur will get the kill, however, and that's 2 quick kills coming in for Luminosity. And VP are no closer to knowing where this push is going to come in. Is it going to be the A side or the B side? They have no idea. All they know is that Luminosity have taken control of mid, but they are wrapping back towards A, and Bialy, he's got to be so careful. One of the 2 spots that he plays on this map, loves to play the MBK corner, loves to get up close once those smokes and flashes go down, but there's the Molotov, and that's going to force him out into the open, into Fallen's waiting arms. Beautiful shot coming through. And Luminosity with a very thorough approach to taking over the site, making good use of their nades.
But you got to be a bit disappointed in VP's mid hole there. I mean, that's not good enough. At least you got to trade if you got 2 people stacked in middle like that. So just getting no kills basically for it. That's just a bit weird.
Taz always gets the short end of the stick on the CT defense for Cash, man. He's always the one playing mid, and that's it's the hardest part of the map to play if you're CT, because you're just at risk from so many different angles.
Well, I mean, a lot of the time in the past for VP, what they've actually done, and I've got to wonder if he could see the gun barrel there now. Finally, Neo spots him in return. It looked like maybe there was a chance. Obviously, VP need to save these rifles, although it's not looking so easy. They're doing a really good job, though. Neo and Snacks, a double kill each, and they will be saving the rifles. But in the past for Virtus.pro, what they would actually do is they would have Pasha in the middle, and he would sometimes push with a smoke in the middle. He just would simply be running through at random times, which proved to be lethal to some teams.
That definitely didn't go according to plan, though, for Luminosity. Now, I mean, they still have more than enough money to go for the full buy, but Fallen sacking is off, basically handing that over to VP. VP are definitely going to be pleased about that. They wouldn't have had the money otherwise to get one. They could contemplate going for a force here if they wanted to, VP, if they really wanted to risk it. And that, I mean, that's exactly what they're talking about. We have a counter-terrorist pause. That, I mean, basically VP going for their tactical timeout at this point, just to try and start discussing what needs to change to stop Luminosity from picking up this game. I mean, they've picked up a single round in this second half so far, VP. That's just not good enough.
Right, I mean, they had some success when they had pistols, sort of pushing and flashing into the middle. So maybe just try and see if they can't catch Luminosity a little bit more off guard with some CT aggression. I mean, I think unlike Luminosity, who went for a lot of CT sound aggression early on, VP still have a lot of options left on this point. You know, they could double boost middle, aggressive push out B, aggressive push out into Squeak even. I mean, there are so many options that they haven't even tried yet. So maybe try time to explore some of those things and see if that doesn't work out.
It's that gamble as to where Fallen is set up and how they want to try and abuse that as well, where that AWP is coming from. Because Fallen is definitely going to buy a new one here in this next round. The thing is that Luminosity showed that they love being aggressive on A main, but we really haven't seen much aggression on the B side of things in the B halls. You know, getting aggressive, trying to push in, trying to get that flank into garage, or just camp out in Toxic, waiting for Luminosity to rotate over. These sorts of things, they're still here for VP. So they definitely haven't tried everything yet. But 30 seconds left before we get into the action once again here, and Luminosity, they lead 12-11. I mean, this has got to be that feel-good moment for Luminosity as well, because the beginning of this game definitely didn't look good. And, you know, as was said on the analyst desk, you know, Cash has it hasn't really been that super solid map for them. So coming into this pick, you know, to start things off in such a crucial best of 3, and things are going wrong for you on a map that you may not feel super comfortable on, not a pleasant situation at all.
And our analysts were saying before we got into the game, probably a lot of this quarterfinals could be decided just based on who wins Cash, right? Because the remaining maps, you got to think probably Luminosity have a pretty good chance in the next one. It's gonna be tricky, isn't it? We've got the countdown started again. 5 seconds as we go into Luminosity and Virtus.pro. Bit of a tactical timeout here. And now the scoreline is 12-11. Luminosity have finally overtaken VP after what was a very, very tough first half for them. They're trying to get it back in here. That's a great grenade early on from Taz. Such a simple maneuver. Doesn't always work, but this time it's well worth it. Wow, and a follow-up as well. No one's even seen each other, and Luminosity have lost a combined 125 or so health. That's even more than that. That's a bit scary.
Snacks, he's still got eyes on mid, so they have the information. 1-for-1 trade pushing onto the A site now. Taz gonna get forced out. He only has the UMP, and he's looking for the angle, but Taco's right behind him, and they have no idea. Surprise, surprise. Time for a nap, old man.
Well, it's 3-on-4 right now, and Luminosity, in spite of losing all that health, seems to be in a great position. The bomb has gone down, and Neo, Snacks, and Pasha, this retake, I mean, if they go for it, they might not have enough money to buy in the next round, but if they don't, could they really afford to give up too many more rounds here to the Brazilian side? Now they're another man down, and it might not be worth it any longer to try and fight this. Fur stepping into the Molotov, and he's going to go down, but I don't think that will spark enough of a retake here. The bomb is already too far ticked, and now Cold coming up from behind, takes out one, goes for the follow-up spray, and Pasha going to go down. That's a triple kill from Cold Sierra, and Luminosity at 13-11.
And VP on the ropes. It should be a round of eco. They're dancing on the edge. They're 3,500 right now. They're on the edge of just being able to go for the force buy, but it would be a monstrous risk to take. Much more likely to see some kind of quasi-buy coming out. Kevlar, pistols, a couple of nades, just balance the money out and get the full buy in the next round.
You see this as well, you know, that they get all that damage in before any push even happens, but once the push happens, the smokes and the flashbangs are so good that VP don't even know what they're shooting at. They actually, it doesn't even matter if they have, you know, 10 health or 100 health in a round like that, because they're not really getting tagged up too much.
Taz messing up the timing. That's nerves right there. That's CZ75. You need to have it out and ready to go. As soon as you come around that corner, you can't be wasting time trying to draw it out once the push has begun. Taco looking to see if he can find anybody at forklift, and Bialy, he gets spotted. Again, one of the two positions that Bialy likes to play on this A map, on this A site rather. So FNX catches out Neo, and Snacks looking to go. Yeah, this is what we're waiting for. Some clever play with the smoke. B Halls. No, Cold isn't laughing.
He's tuned in right now and ready for it. Pasha.
There we go.
At least pick up the AK here, and a headshot on Fur. That's not a bad way to end this round. He's walking in and getting shot in the back though by Fallen, but still, 2 kills happening. We are now 2 rounds away here from LG closing out this first map. Only got 5 rounds on their CT side, but their T side has been even better than what VP was showing us. Even better is what they've come back with here.
Just dominant. Still only a single round picked up for VP. I mean, where did this Luminosity come from? They're controlling everything. The pace, the players who have, who had fallen asleep at the beginning of the first half have now all come alive. They're all sitting in the high teens across the board here for Luminosity. Nobody is slacking off at this point. And it's a very quick mid-take coming out here for Luminosity this time around. They're showing no fear. Fur just takes point. Now that they actually have some info to go off of here, Luminosity, now it's VP who are under pressure. Now they're the ones going, how do we get control once again?
But Taz was very far pushed up into main, so he already knows what's happening right now. They are rotating back in here. First going to walk into a lot of people in the middle, but he's going to win that fight anyway and actually makes it back out again. They should be allowed to get away with this. Finally, it goes down to Taz, and that is at least an important kill, but Luminosity being treated to a lot of map control here for no particular reason. Now they're going to see if they can get the counter rotate in towards the B bomb site. Neo is on them, and he's got backup as well, so they got to be careful, LG, when they try and make their way through. It definitely will not be an easy push in here. Neo with the AWP, and this is one of his specialties. He's very good at playing the speed bomb side, but he loses Snacks already. Neo gets the leg shot in and falls back to the next position, which can get smoked off. We've already seen this. LG know how to do it. Bialy is here to help out, and there's going to be a Molotov coming down, but there's 45 seconds. They are just going to rotate out of there. LG, that's a good decision to make in the middle of the round.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking for Neo to get the leg shot onto Taco. Snacks, I mean, Snacks dies, that's one thing, but you use him as bait and you trade, then it's all right. It's still a situation that you can come out ahead in for VP, but the fact that Taco's still alive and breathing with all that utility on him as well, that would have been a huge kill for VP to get. And now, well, Luminosity, they have all the options. Taco's just going to sack himself over here. He catches Neo out of position. Bialy's still staying put on this B site. However, there's a single man left on this A site. That's going to be Taz. And if he peeks around this corner on the short, it's going to be nasty. Fallen point, and he is just not even going to land the spray. Bialy takes out Taco, but that doesn't even matter when Cold is looking for you. 2 kills for him, and Luminosity on map point.
Wow, the kill that Taco gets in B puts a little bit of doubt into VP about what's going on. And if that hadn't happened, then if you look at the clock as they push in, there's about 8 seconds left. If Taz had been sort of sure that they were going to come in, you could tell that he was in the beginning because he was hiding by those barrels, or sort of where he'd get the headshot barrels. He could have been hiding in the back of the bomb site to simply deny the plant, and that would have won them the round. They would have had only like 3 seconds to put the button, that would have been it. So yeah, that was a huge kill.
You just have to love watching Luminosity. Once they get it rolling, they move together as that death ball as well. Taz, maybe he gets lucky if he finds the one when he peeks. You know, it turns it into a series of duels. Great, because they might be split up, you know, trying to come in from different angles onto the site. Luminosity, no, they just stick 3 together. So you peek one of them, you're peeking all of them, you're a dead man, guaranteed. And so now Luminosity, they have 4 map points here, and it's a forced buy for VP. Low on the nades, but at least they can afford the rifles to come in here with. Snacks has got that MP9, which seems to be the SMG of choice for a lot of these players now. Flusher might have started that off.
But yeah, they're certainly making it work, aren't they? Snacks with a bit of an underhand throw through, but this time he doesn't follow up on it. They were waiting on the other side, and they have been doing it already a couple of times in middle. So just like with LG, it might just be a bit too predictable in the long run. This is shaping up to being a bit of an A execute, and with Bialy and Taz over here, they're sort of covering a similar angle. You got to wonder if they could do anything. Last time, they simply got smoked and flashed out, and they weren't able to fight. This time, with Bialy being up in the box, it might be just a little bit better. He spots the feed out. Fur going to be walking in. That FAMAS is going to be just good enough to get the kill. Fur going to be going down. Follow-up from Taz. Bialy with the refrag, everything... Oh, sorry, ends up going down to Fallen with the refrag there. Everything rides on this one round here. They gotta bring it back into overtime, winning 4 in a row, and that's no easy task. Taz going to be falling into the bomb site. That Molotov not clearing out Pasha, and they might be sort of lured into a false sense of security here, thinking they got the backlines checked. Taz going to pick up the 1 kill here, and the rest of LG, 15 seconds. How are they possibly going to make it through? It looks like they definitely won't. Cold Sierra going to be going down, and it will be 15-12. The dream is still alive, Semler.
Oh, most certainly is, but to get caught for a second time from Boost, Luminosity have got to be kicking themselves at this point. That is so frustrating, especially because they can try, if it crosses their mind, they can check that angle, and then Bialy's impact is almost nil. Got the chant going and everything. It is possible, guys. All right, 12-15, as you guys can see. And Luminosity, of course, full money for the buy. VP, Luminosity donated them so many rifles in the last round. They get a very healthy buy going here, and so we have a bit of an even round coming up.
Yeah, and I was talking up Neo in this bomb site earlier that this is one of his sort of specialties, is playing the AWP on B bomb site. Doesn't get the kill. That flashbang is just so good, but they have the smoke there to allow him to get back out of that position, because once you get trapped and checkered with the AWP, it's pretty much done. Now they're going to try for a really fast execute here. Snacks on the other side. Flashbang goes up. They're going to be all around the corner. He's got the AK, but this is a very open position. He sprays down 1 in a second, 2. Finally the reply, but Neo's there, getting a double of his own, and they will lock Luminosity out of this round. What a mad position. It's going to be Pasha taking down Fallen. There's no coverage. That's an all or nothing.
I hope we get a replay. I can't comprehend how quick Snacks is to turn away from that flash.
Yeah, that's...
Like, how does he turn away from this flash? Like, what?
Well, it goes through the window as well, so I mean, did it land behind the box somehow?
That was a Molotov coming in, I think. There was a flash that came in, and it's just perfect. I don't even know.
When you are about to lose the map, you go for a position that is essentially an all-in. If you lose the first couple of bullets, or you don't miss them, or if you miss them, that's it. You're going to be out of it. Smoke goes up once again here. Grenade going to be coming out from Neo. He's going to...
Oh, they aren't wasting any time.
Try and see if he can take the shot. They're getting very close right now. He hits the shot on Fur. Molotov going to be coming out. Now they're trying to rush him down. Oh, he lands that one on Fur. Gets a headshot. Neo gets 2 for 1. But now he's finally going to be going down, and Cold Sierra takes a double kill of his own. Now it's going to be a very, very hard round here for VP.
Oh, and Fallen, he's going to get caught looking the wrong way, trying to get eyes onto... Why is he hunting there? Interesting decision made by Fallen, and now it leaves them in a bit of a bind on the B side, but VP were able to do this before, and Taco, he's keeping on with the headshots. Going to get caught out in the open by Snacks, but Cold brings it back, and Taz wins the duel versus Cold in the end. VP, they're still in it. And they will just have enough money to buy it. It is not over for Luminosity, but that is a huge round, and Snacks just giving a bit of the nod of the approval. He's the one calling the shots this tournament for VP as well, considering it's always a guessing game as to which one is actually leading the team. Snacks is doing a magnificent job so far.
Absolutely, and I mean, if Neo hadn't got that double kill in the beginning as well, you got to wonder what would have happened to that round. We are going the distance. It is the 30th round here, 15-14. Virtus.pro a single round away from pushing us into overtime, and you got to think right now, Luminosity, they've really fought for this. They don't want to give it up just yet, but you can tell that the crowd definitely wants it. They are so ready for what's about to happen. Neo with an opening shot, taking out Fallen, and that is a fantastic way to start. You can tell VP they want to, the LG they want to speed up behind it, but by Ali taking out Fur, and now it's a 3-on-5 with a counter boost coming out. Snacks taking down FNX, and Cold and Taco. How are they going to be able to break it out of this situation? They won't. Neo going to be taking out Cold Sierra, and here it comes, the overtime. It's Taco in a 1-on-4, picking up an AK. But what a crazy way to start this quarterfinals. Taco, there's really nothing you can do. VP, they have the bomb. They are 4 members still alive. All they have to do is just stay calm and relaxed, and they are going to be able to bring this one to OT.
Yeah, you get the buddy system put into place as well. So they just have to watch each other's backs. Pasha is going to try and peek into mid, it seems, just to get a little bit of info there. But it's a difficult situation here for Luminosity, considering they have been making the correct calls. It's just this individual play coming up across the board from Virtus.pro and Neo in particular. Last round with the double kill. This round starting it off, picking off Fallen. And then with the quick flank onto Cold before things got out of hand.
You got to appreciate Bialy here taking the position that Taco just wallbanged, you know, just to try and really screw with him and say, well, I already checked that corner from the other side. Obviously not. That's a nice peek. Goes for it again, but Bialy just shut it down, and here it goes. Overtime in the last quarterfinals here at the MLG Major. What a way to get started, Semler. This is more than we could have asked for. 25 kills on Snacks, 24 on Bialy.
Yeah, this is where you can start to see perhaps just the chinks there in Luminosity's armor, where they aren't quite as experienced on the stage in such a huge tournament, whereas VP, I mean, they've been doing this for years. They thrive in this sort of scenario. Neo, Taz, so much experience there. They come alive when it matters most at the end of the half, when Luminosity need to be ruthless. They need to take control at the end of the second half and just close the game out, and they were not capable. Now going into overtime, though. Going into overtime. I mean, it's crazy. This crowd is so hype as well. Actual chance. And I haven't had this feeling since Cologne last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's
so sick.
Absolutely true. Oh, you know, Summit is in the building. Gotta
get some munchies in the chat. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I got a picture with them yesterday, man.
Summit is in the building, so, you know, that's not far off. You could definitely do that.
That was sick. Finally, the number of hours I've wasted, well, no, more like the number of nights he's wrecked for me. Where I'm like, I'm only going to stay up until 1, and then it's 4 a.m. because I'm watching Summit.
Well, we are going to be heading in. There's just about 35 seconds left here, and I mean, you talk about sort of, you know, Luminosity are starting to gather a lot of experience themselves at playing sort of deeper into tournaments, right? Yeah. But, you know, especially sort of the core of Virtus.pro here, the Tasha, Neo, and Pash, so Taz, Pasha, Neo, and obviously Cuban standing behind them, right? The 4 out of the 5 of the original Golden 5, right? They have just way, way, way more, like, infinitely more experience. And when you play overtime in a quarterfinals in a tournament this big, really weird things happen. Like, you start to make basic mistakes that you wouldn't otherwise be. The pressure starting to mount, and it could be exhausting as well, because obviously, if this goes all 3 maps, suddenly you're going to be playing for a very long time.
It turns into that marathon. You're right.
And you're going to be playing a semifinals later. This could be a really long day for one of these teams.
Yeah, luckily, if you play that semifinal, it's the second semifinal of the day, so you get a little bit of time in between to try and reset. Luminosity, that's right.
All right.
Oh, wow. And we got like we're actually like kind of in the VP cheering section, so every time, you know, Luminosity, it's like, I just hear the boos coming out behind me. All right, let's go. It is now the first half of overtime. We are live. 15-15, full buy on both sides, and Pasha deciding to change it up. He's got the Scar 20. You gotta love it. He doesn't opt much anymore, but sometimes he'll go for the auto sniper, and we'll see if it's actually effective.
And it's snack swapping instead. Neo, in spite of that good double kill he got the 1 round, maybe not feeling too confident in the bomb side with it, so it's better to actually switch it out and try and change it.
And I asked Snacks yesterday, I'm like, you know, why are you opping these days? He's like, oh, well, you know, I kind of just feel like it. That's how it is on the team, you know? Feel like opping? Here, have the op. So Snacks is like, yeah, you know, I'm just feeling the op right now. He's doing well with it, too. I mean, yesterday, during the group phase, he actually was very impactful with it.
that's how I want to go into quarterfinals. So I was playing, so I just feel like it. No, there's no deeper reason, no tactical sort of, you know, just right now, I just feel like that's the best idea. We do have a double boost coming out here from Luminosity, so a play for mid-control right now. Once you have mid-control, you can collapse onto Checker in that B-bomb site, try and see if you can make it out. And Neo in the back line here without the AWP, that's going to be a really, really tough position for him to defend. Molotov actually goes out to buy time, or actually it falls a little bit too far. I think that was supposed to go into the vents, which luckily it doesn't have a big impact because they're not rushing the vents, but if that had been the timing there, that would have been tricky.
They just don't have any time left. There's only 30 seconds left here for Luminosity to make this play, and Bialy and Taz, they're back-to-back on this A site, watching each other. Pasha's there with the Scar 20. He's just going to start tapping from car as soon as this push comes through. He's in position, and he spots the man go behind forklift. There it is, first kill wrapped up for the biceps. And Bialy, he's holding the line, knocks down Taco. Follow doing the best that he can, and he will pick up the next one. How did they get control? All three dead in the blink of an eye.
And
FNX takes out Snacks, and the lurk is done, and now it's all on Neo in a 1v3.
What a brutal round here. Neo is going to get the kill, and it's still a 1v2. Highly unlikely that he'd be able to clutch it, but it's overtime, so at this point, you know, you might as well try. He's trying to run in there. Cold Sierra up on the railing, shooting Neo already, trying to get the spray in, but Cold just too on point with the AK. That's going to be the round. Luminosity able to win it, and I'm surprised that Pasha wasn't just standing at the car and trying to get that cross line.
Right? He decides to go close quarters with the Scar 20. Was he trying to get behind quad boxes? Maybe he was looking to try and find some kind of angle there, but he wouldn't have been able to make it back there in time either. I could have swore, because that's what the Scar 20 is really strong at, and we see it on Mirage, A side, different positions, you know, a chicken coop on Cobble. If the smoke goes down, you just sit there and you tap, and every bullet you do does more than half HP to the target, so.
Another thing that is starting to really sort of frustrate me a bit is when people are holding behind the container on that A-bomb site, they just line up against the wall of the container, right? Instead of actually taking the initiative and going for the fight. And I don't think that's worth it. I think people need to be more proactive when they're holding that position. Snacks is going to be going down early on here, and oh, man, that's a dangerous peek. That was a bit of a fakely early shot, but he doesn't care. What a challenge, and Fallen just not quick enough.
What was that, Bialy? Okay, then. Sick kill. 4-on-4 now. Still plenty of nades here for Luminosity. Minute 15 left on this clock. VP are the ones who are completely out of utility. They have a single HE left on Neo. He has the op as well. And he's just locking down that B site solo for now. But again, Luminosity, they're just so good at forming the death ball, moving in as a unit together, and now they get mid-control. This opens up all their options. Taz is going to feel the heat in a moment, though. He does get that peek on Sugar Cube. And now it's all about a question of whether they're going to hit the shot when he actually shows himself, because he's trying to commute. He's actually going to get a rotation coming in here.
Yeah,
Pasha's just in time to actually back him up.
And Bialy as well. They're going to three-man peek the middle right now. This is a very aggressive move coming out of VP, and it's going to be, first of all, Fur going down, Pasha with the opening frag, FNX next in line. What a brilliant strategy coming out of Virtus.pro here. And this is what I talk about when I mean taking initiative, just not waiting around for Luminosity to execute the full round. Taco down to 1 health, and, well, that bomb has to be armed for it to do any damage. It's going to be Cold Sierra to die last. That was beautiful, calling in 2 people to all peek the middle at the same time. It brings VP a very, very important round.
Yeah, what a fantastic read on their part. That was excellent.
And we should just mention, again, for any new viewers, we must have a couple since we've got nearly 1 million people watching right now. You're playing overtime. You're playing 3 rounds on CT side and 3 rounds on, and 3 rounds on T side. And basically what happens is, you only start with $10,000. So if you lose the first 2 rounds on the CT side, you won't have enough money for the last round. So winning this round for VP is hugely important. Really makes a difference. Taz for the opening frag, but Bialy goes down in return, and it's going to make it a 4-on-4.
This time it's not going to pan out, but there's the counter boosted mid. Snacks, he takes the fight to him. VP continue to be proactive on this defense. They keep getting aggressive and not allowing Luminosity to have the space on the map to get comfortable and set up their plays. Although Taco was ready and waiting for Taz, so they do bring it back to a 3-on-3, but they still have to worry about Snacks in the back lines here. And that's going to come down to Taco. The bomb gets rotated in, Fur drops, and Snacks, is he actually allowed to escape? No, Taco's there in time. And somehow we find ourselves into a 2-on-2, and Pasta's in position with the AWP, ultra aggressive. Can they actually shut him down? Can they stop? Because both players are now here, and now this has turned into a death trap for Luminosity. They have to realize that with a minute left, they still have time to work this round. They don't need to overcommit.
It does beg the question, why didn't Snacks just escape? Why feel the need to go and put up the smoke? That would have been a 2-on-3 right now. There's a very good chance Luminosity could do this, but it's a good call from Neo to sneak in here, though. Luminosity trying to sort of again, play a pretty deep mind game, walking into middle, and if they actually make that, I think, yeah, if they make them into CT spawn, that's the better choice. That's going to make it a harder angle for the AWP, and Neo, he will be caught, essentially shot in the side of the head if he peeks out. He sees them coming through and takes out Cold Zero. What is this game sense? Taco going to be alone. He gets shot in the back, and Virtus.pro picking up 2 out of the 3 rounds in overtime. If he had been looking the other way, which is much more reasonable to do, that would have been it.
But he was behind the box. He was covering himself. That's how sick Neo is as a player. Not leaving himself exposed on an angle, sitting behind the box, and the only time he looks mid, boom, gets the kills. VP come out ahead, 17-16 now after the first half, and that is huge. We're looking for the first team to get to 19 rounds here to take this first map in this best-of-3 series. And so far, it has delivered.
Biceps, full control. Absolutely.
Nice shot from Pasha as well. They're rotating in on CT.
17-16 is the current scoreline here. We are looking for the first team to 19 rounds with this current overtime format here. This is, I don't know, I did not expect this match to go this way. I definitely didn't see it coming.
Gotta keep that energy up. Nice shots. Yeah, that was.
But you mentioned the energy, Summer. I mean, there was a lot of discussion about even having a major in North America, and I feel like right now it's working out quite well for the moment here. The audience is absolutely amazing. You guys have been great, and you got to keep it up right now.
So sick. Everybody I've run into so far this event has just been so excited.
Yeah.
And this is such a great location as well. It makes it's pretty easy for people to travel to. So they had a lot of time. The hype builds, and then we have a full stadium of North American fans. Baller. All right. Well, we're counting down. 20 seconds left in this halftime.
See, now I'm curious, because I think if Luminosity go back to playing that slightly aggressive style on the CT side that they were doing in regulation, then I'm wondering if I mean, again, VP have got to be paranoid coming into this terrorist half. They got to know that the best thing to do is wait around for a good 35 seconds and see what's going to be happening, and then, you know, make up your mind afterwards. So I'm looking for Fallen and Zeus here, especially to figure out how to deal with the CT side.
The one difference that's going to come through here for Luminosity now going into the CT side is that Cold is hitting shots, Fur is hitting shots. Everybody's woken up now. It's not this weird sort of situation where the 2 heavy hitters on the team, they're sitting on low single digits. No, now Cold is actually in the lead on Luminosity. He's taking control of this match, and so now they have to worry about him. And guess what? They go for the double AWP right off the bat, Luminosity. And when we told you, Anders, you know, that was like $10,000 to start. This is a huge investment from Cold. It's a big play. This is a power play coming out from Luminosity. They just want to rest control immediately, and there's the angle, and it just doesn't work out.
When you're crouching in like that, you got to be careful, because obviously if you shoot too late, then the other guy will have the opening to do just the same. So got to be careful there, but nobody even tagging each other. It is slightly aggressive, and we do see VP again being ready for it, which is sort of what we were expecting anyway, right? I mean, it comes as no surprise right now that that's how VP are going to be playing these early rounds. Pasha all the way on the other side of the map, also making sure that no one is going to be sneaking through here. So they really, really don't want to lose an early man to any kind of crazy push. They themselves, though, are going for a bit of a boost, or were sort of going for a bit of a boost in the middle. I think they might have canceled that, actually.
Seems like they're trying to make up their minds right now as to where they want to take this, VP. They still have the nades necessary for an execute if they want. It's going to come down to actually just grouping up. And that flash is just there to kind of throw the timing off. If they are trying to develop something, VP, you put the flashes out, you get a little bit of damage in, you wreck that pacing. Taco, he gets the peek, the confirm, the squeak door opens as well, so they know somebody's coming from there. FNX catches out Neo. That was in mid, but they weren't expecting to. Pasha is there to get the kill, and Bialy finds another one. This is looking good for VP. Taz is going to have the perfect spot. He could come over that container and completely wreck the man holding on the side, but that is going to be Cold, and he's falling back, and that flash, it works out perfectly! Snacks turns just in time, and Pasha's there for the kill on Fallen.
Oh, wow. What an unlikely round. It's now going to be Fur in a 1-on-3, and he really wants this challenge. Pasha is going to accept it and reply with a headshot. That's a triple kill for him. And we are now at map point here. Virtus.pro at 18 to the 16 of Luminosity. And you gotta appreciate Bialy being sort of the ultimate bro there, because that flash that was going in, that pretty much had the main player dead, but Bialy just coming in with a huge safe.
Imagine Cold's frustration as well. He's worked it perfectly. The smoke is about to clear. He is still alive. He's in the perfect spot. Oh, no, sorry. Flash goes off as soon as that smoke clears, and you're done. Insane timing. And now it's all on VP. They've got match point, or map point. And now it's a question of whether they can just lock it out, contrary to what happened with Luminosity, who weren't able to close out the game in regulation time. Now it's all on VP here. They have 2 chances.
They have 2 chances. Luminosity, because you did point this out, they went for the double AWP right now, and in the last round, and that means look at the grenades here left. We're still at 1 minute and 22 seconds here, and they have 1 smoke right now, and VP are still playing this very defensively, and I think this is exactly what the Polish team need to do. Just take it easy.
Yeah, sit and wait. And hope that Luminosity are the ones to mess up, to make a mistake. A little bit of a peek by FNX right into mid, trying to see if he can catch somebody out. He sees Pasha, so there's a little bit of information to go off of. The Molotov goes down to Cold to clear out Cold's there, but he's dancing on the edge, hoping that they make a mistake, that they overextend. Pasha once again spots out FNX, and there's a counter boost. Not expecting this one, VP. Far with the double kill, just completely shuts down mid for VP, and now VP are going to be scrambling. 45 seconds left for them to make the play, and FNX is going to peek and take out Bialy. It's down to Taz and Neo now for VP, and Taz, he's been hitting shots all game long, but it ends here. FNX with 1 and FNX with 2. Ends the round with 3, and Luminosity are still in this.
Yes, they are fighting for the double overtime, because this format can extend itself indefinitely, as we've already seen in the group stage. We had some fun overtime action going into this one. If that Molotov works on Cold Zero, this whole mid defense is gonna crumble, right? So the fact that he manages to fall back and he has the backup from sort of mid as well is definitely helping out quite a bit here. 17-18, the last round of overtime coming in. Still the first map.
And now the chants begin. Players need your energy, because it's all or nothing now for VP. If they can close this out, they'll have a huge advantage going into the rest of this BO3. So the pressure, it is mounting. And now we have to see, can they actually execute? Again, similar setup here for Virtus.pro, just spread out across the map. But they are applying a little bit more pressure early on here from VP's side, because they want to try and force Luminosity to use those nades early, right? If you're just sitting around, then Luminosity, they have no reason to throw the nades out. So VP, they still have to make a little bit of noise, just a little bit of a commotion, just to get Luminosity to use their utility. And then they can set up and start going for their execute.
But I am really happy that Luminosity aren't pushing so aggressively anymore. They're really playing it defensively, and the mid control, which is what lost in the first round on the CT side here, they had it this time, and that means they end up winning it. So they're really learning from the mistakes. Oh, what a shot! Cold Zero trying to duck in behind that box, and Snacks just catching him mid-air. Not a big angle for him to take that shot there. Trying for the counter boost again, but Virtus.pro denying it with fire. Snacks going to be picking off FNX. Another 3 kills, and they're going to win the first map. Now just 2 left, falling out in the open. He picks up 1, but he's trying to escape. He can't make it out. He's getting shot in the back by Ali. Picking up, falling, and now it's down to Taco in a 1-on-4. Virtus.pro, they see just a single opening, and they take the round away. Taco, he's got nothing. No grenades. They don't know where he's coming from yet. That's the only silver lining right now. But with the bomb down, that's not much of a comfort here. What a performance on the Polish team. They definitely were in a slump, but now they seem to have somehow rooted themselves out of it. There's a headshot. Virtus.pro, they win cash. 19-17.
In overtime on the start, and this might completely rock Luminosity going into the second map. But what a beautiful display there in the last round from VP. They made all of the necessary adjustments. What came to bite them in the round before that, the push in from mid, from vents, etc., they just single Molotov, solves that. Smoke on connector, solved there. Then they don't have to worry about mid, and then they can just push straight onto the B site, execute the defense. That is basically beautiful CS, because VP, it's all about making those small adjustments that'll get you the round in the end. They just gave us a masterclass, and now that is the first map down. Wow. I mean, you can't help but get hype here, because we still have another 2 maps potentially between these teams.
I could definitely see this going to all 3 maps right now. If you have any friends that are not tuning in right now, it's definitely time to bring them in and introduce them to Counter-Strike. We are going to be going to a quick commercial break, but when we get back, it's going to be map 2, and we'll have the analysts go through it as well, so stay with us.